Hi, my name is Nashley and I'm 19 years old, about to be 20, and this is gonna be my first YouTube video. It won't be the best, but I'm trying. Well, this is gonna be my story on how I got through my depression and, and anxiety and basically my journey on how to love myself. So I went through a couple things back in 2018, which wasn't my best year. I was in a car accident. I had family problems with my relationship, things like that. So it all began when I was in a car accident. That was really the start of the depression. That was like what was the most, that was the cause of it, like the number one thing. And then it was my mom and my stepdad split their ways, but I'm not gonna go into too much detail because that's private. But I was really close to my stepdad, so like him leaving was one of the worst things that could happen. And then after that was having to go through all that, being in the car again and not wanting to, like, being scared of this car coming this way. And I was just having so much anxiety being in an actual car for like a while after the accident. I literally, after the day after the accident, I had to get into another car with my mom, and I was afraid that something was gonna happen. And then, so yeah, it was a car accident, my stepdad leaving, and then it was problems with my relationship. I was having problems, and then I decided that I was gonna move over here with my youngest sister. We came to live with my dad, and it was depressing to have to leave my family over there where I lived, but it was the best thing that I had to do for myself, because I kept hurting the people around me, because I was so depressed that I would just take it out on everybody. So I decided that I needed a fresh start. When I first moved here, I felt out of place. Like, I didn't feel like anywhere I belonged anywhere. I don't know if any of y'all ever felt that when you go to a new place and you just feel so out of place, and then you can't even go back to where you lived, because then you're just like, you still feel out of place, so you don't feel like you belong anywhere. And I felt like that for a while. And to top it off, I lost myself. I was so numb. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know anything at all. And I just didn't feel anything but sadness, depression. And that was for like a couple months. And then my dad was there, and he helped me. So did my younger sister. So did my sister-in-law. And then God and all of that. And I'm so grateful for all of those who were there for me. And then one of my best friends was there for me too, that I met when I moved here. Like, they all showed me that I can get through it, and that I am beautiful and I am strong, and I don't need anyone there to make me happy. So like, towards the end, like, my depression, I was like, it like got worse. Like, it was bad, because my ex had broken up with me suddenly when he promised he wouldn't do that in the beginning of the relationship. And then I was so mad, because the way that it happened, it just like pissed me off. And then it's just like, I was so mad. And then he was there, and then one moment he wasn't there, and then he just kept coming back, and I was getting frustrated. I'm just like, dude, we need to figure out what we're gonna do. And then I was just like, things, we just like separated for a while, and then we like came back in touch after a while, and then we were talking. Now we're okay, we're good. We're not together, but we still talk. And then like a whole bunch of things happened that I don't want to go into details. That's probably for another video that I'll go into details. So when all that happened, I was just like, I would think to myself, and I'm like, why am I wasting my life on this? Like, why am I being so depressed? Like, it was, when you devote a year and something to your, I know people have been in longer relationships, but like when you devote yourself to someone like that, and then for it just to end so suddenly, and the way that it happened between me and him, it was just like so confusing. And then I would have, like, I cried a lot. I took my time with healing. And then when I was finally done with that, I started to focus more on myself. And then I started changing a little bit because, excuse me, I thought that would be the best. And then like some people in my life didn't like that. Well, one person in my life didn't like that, but I'm not gonna say who. Probably say that in another video. But this person didn't like it, and then it's just always, it was putting me down, and I'm just like, no, you need to cut this out because I am done. And then I just started focusing on myself. I did not like who I was becoming in that time, so then I went back to who I was. And that's when I started slowly changing. And then I was finding peace. And then I finally, after all of that darkness and depression that I thought I would never get out of it, I finally found it. And I was just like, it's like everything in my life started to blossom. Everything was falling into place. My relationship with every single one of my family members, my friends, everything started to fall into place. And I became such a positive person. I was like so negative. And then I just like, when I was younger, it was hard for me to make friends with people. It was hard. I couldn't. I was one of those kids who would just sit in the back and not say anything, and everybody would thought I was weird. But now, like, I can make friends wherever I go, and it just feels so great. I'm like, finally, like, I can do this. And now it's just like, I feel so at peace with myself. Like, I'm single. I'm focusing on myself, focusing on loving appreciating, and cherishing everyone in my life individually. I make sure to say I love you to everyone who I love. I make sure to know that I appreciate them and everything. And it's just like, if you're going through something, just know it's not going to be like that forever unless you let it be like that. Just take control of your own life. Sure, you can take some time and cry, but don't cry forever. Don't just sit there and just cry and cry and cry and waste all your tears, whether if it's on some guy or some girl, or something that happened in your family. Like, you can take your time, but like, slowly, don't cry. Like, slowly go away from like crying, and just like take deep breaths and just move on from it all, and just focus on yourself and realize how special you are and how big your heart is. No matter what kind of person you are not born to hate. You are not. You were not born to be you're just not born with a heart full of hate. You were born with a heart full of love, and you can love whoever you want. You can spread your love in every single way. Like when I walk outside, I make sure to smile at every person that I walk by. Even if, like, I always am afraid that they don't smile back, but I still do it anyways, and then I always get a smile in return. Because, even if you don't get a smile in return, you know that you saw that person and you smiled. And maybe that made their day. Maybe they didn't smile back at you, but then maybe when you walked away, they maybe gave a little smirk or something. Maybe somebody's going through a hard time, and that smile that you gave just, like, made their day. I know whenever someone smiles back at me, it makes my day. It could be the tiniest smirk, and it just makes my day. So I make sure to, like, enjoy nature. Like, I can enjoy nature. I'm, like, so at peace with everything. Like, everything in my life. Like, I'm so happy. Sure, I may, like, cry thinking about it here and there. Like, I cry, like, shed 2 tears thinking about what I've been through. But what I've been through has literally made me the person who I am today. If it wasn't for the things that I went through, I would still be that annoyed, mad person all the time. I was mad all the time. So, like, I'm kind of glad that I went through the things that I went through. But I'm happy of the person that it made me today. And I might do another video on, if anyone needs it, I might do another video on how to get over a breakup, because when I went through that breakup, there was 2 main breakups that I went through that were the worst, and how I got over it was extraordinary. I did most of it on my own, but, like, some people gave me advice on learning that I don't need anybody there for me, but that's for a whole nother video. But if you did enjoy this video, then I'm not gonna force you to give me a thumbs up, but maybe tell someone who needs it. Maybe they can get over it the way that I did. I know I didn't give much advice, but maybe if they see this video, maybe they can relate to who I am as a person, who I was as a person, and who I am now. Maybe they can relate. So, like, share it. If you want, give it a thumbs up. Not gonna force you. Give it a thumbs down. It doesn't really matter. But you do what you want to do. Thank you. Bye.